It's real now. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Yo, welcome to W.R.C. When Real Connect. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Dottie Red, your street Bella here. We got Shayla May, Lola B, and Sam the Riff, the brow banger. With that said, we're going to go ahead and start straight off with the drink of the week, which this week is Jaeger Bombs. Now, Jaeger Bombs is a fun, exciting drink for those who like them. I don't know. Maybe licorice. I don't know. But either way, they say that if you're a male, you must miss your frat brothers, which means you're lonely, right? Get a life, okay? If you're a female, you're depressed, which means you'll be having sex with a stranger really soon, all right? So with that note, you Jaeger drinkers, Jaeger Bomb drinkers, or Jaeger, because Jaeger is trife. I mean, no offense to all. Let's go ahead and clank to the Jaeger Bombs. Clank, 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 clank.
Hey. I had a few Jaegers.
Right, okay. Now, this week, we had a whole different format set up, but I wanted to talk about something that kind of happened. It's pretty deep. It's definitely in our society, and I think everybody can relate to it in some kind of way, is abuse, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or emotional is mental, and, even financial abuse, right? So, how's this
sexual abuse, too?
Right, which, all of that, yeah, everything, right? So, today, of course, I had a whole different format in mind, but, I was hearing as I'm, at my home, I'm hearing my neighbor getting into an altercation, screaming, yelling, and you got into a point where it's like, okay, wow, this is the lady, this is what's going on. How do I handle this? Should I, call the police? No, right? Somebody be hitting me over my head for telling, right? No, or should I go upstairs and maybe knock on the wall, kind of help stop on that side, or keep out? So, of course, naturally being the girl that I am, I kept out of it, right? But it goes to a side of it that when is it a point where you step in? When is it when you say, hey, I can help you, or here's a phone number, or maybe even call somebody, even if it's not, the police, or do you just completely stay out of it? This is the rules to the game. Do you know somebody who's been abused, whether it's, like I said, physical, mental, all of the above, what I mean? And I'm sure we've all at some point in time have either experienced it or know somebody who's experienced it. So I'm going to kind of hit the panel, because I think this is definitely going to be a touchy subject, and we run over here to Shayla May, because, we love her. So, Shayla, I mean, have you ever had a situation where maybe you had an abusive relationship, or you knew somebody who had an abusive relationship and they really depended on you?
I personally had an abusive relationship. You personally? Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
I met my daughter's father when I was 14. I already knew him. My mom and his cousin dated. So I'd known him for a few years, but we started dating. We were young. He was a lot older than me.
Oh.
But it was a thing where we were just both so reckless.
Right.
When you are saying that you're in love with somebody and you love them and you're 14, 15, he was 18, 19. It was a thing where that love turned violent because we didn't know how to love each other.
Right,
so it got to a point where it started off with, being grabbed or, and then I'll never make you cry again. And then I cried almost every day after for like 2 years. Mm. And it shaped my relationships throughout my life, because that was the first man that ever showed me love,
right.
You know what I mean? Other than, I had little boyfriends here and there. But that was my first sign of love from a man. And what he did to me, I won't say it was all his fault, because once, there's two of us. And it got to the point where I was expecting it. So we would argue, and I'd slap him first.
Right, starting it up.
Dude, 6 feet. I'm
right, no,
5 feet, 105. I'm reaching up. I'm going to smack the shit out of you because you're about to slap me. So I'm going to get you first.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't blame him for it, but I think a lot of that is misguided. People don't know how to express themselves, and it's something that people should tackle really young. Mm-hmm. Showing this is what love is. Showing them through healthy relationships.
It's a lot of people who don't really understand what love is, you know what I mean? And you grow into understanding it. Sometimes it takes you a couple of experiences in life for you to really understand what love was. The love you thought was then had nothing on the love you got now. Like, this is the real deal. This is the one they was talking about, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But abuse is something that's just so common in certain areas. And like I said, I want to move on to the other panel, but we definitely going, it's like I said, it's a sensitive topic. It's something that just recently happened in my life today, not for me specifically, but just coming right before such a positive experience and hearing something where, I really couldn't help you. You know what I mean? But so Lola, and I must ask Lola, have you ever been in an abusive relationship, or knew somebody who was getting abused, or somebody even just direct close to you?
All of the above.
All of the above, right.
I was never really like abused, but dude was definitely like crazy. Like,
so was it like a verbal abuse kind of thing?
It was verbal. He used to do like weird things, like randomly like pull my hair. You know, the slapping around. You know, I'm small, so the put that was too much. But because my mom was in a situation, I knew to cut that off quick. That's too much. But then I also have a friend who she failed to recognize that she's in an abusive relationship. Like, your dude beats your ass. You are in a abusive relationship. It's not, I don't know what it is with girls nowadays, but they like to try to say we were fighting. You were getting your ass beat and you were trying to defend yourself. That's what happens. But whether the girl started, the dude started, if I started with my dude, your dude push you, you know, hold you down, you know, that's different because you're trying to swing on him. But the minute a dude cock his fist back and punch you like you are another man, he's crazy. You know, when you having black eyes and you gotta duck and dodge and your kid crying. You
gotta question love. What is your definition of love?
That's not love. You are, that is like you.
And it's a lot of people that don't really understand, like I said, that level of, you know, like, you know, it's a lot of people that this was love for me. Like Shayla said, this is what was my first experience of love. So when it becomes something that's a routine, you feel like, hey, this is what I thought was supposed to be happening, you know, or unfortunately was happening in my life. This is maybe the way that it's built out for me. You know what I mean? I want to kind of run over here to Sam as well, because, you know, this is our dial, right? So, you know, have you ever, you know, had an abusive relationship, or like I said, known somebody extremely close that kind of discussed their abusive relationship with you?
I mean, not in any like adult situation. Like not with a boyfriend or girlfriend or past, anything like that. My dad, my stepdad, he abused me for 5 years sexually. And, you know, when you're having that example of what you're thinking love is in any sort of situation, and that is what is the norm, that becomes the norm. And when that, especially, like, I mean, it started when I was 8, happened for 5 years, I thought everybody went through it. I thought that everybody had that secret with their daddy. I mean, I loved him, you know? We were very close.
Is that, just to break it, is that kind of one of the reasons why the word daddy maybe is a sensitive one too?
It is very
and that's understandable. And for you watching this, I mean, that's a real situation that some words that you use may be something that's tragic to someone else, and you kind of build into that knowledge of finding out what to use and what not to use, and who, you know, who's been through what, you know, respect it. So it definitely, so.
But yeah, so I mean, I thought that was normal. I thought everybody had that secret. And, you know, that actually is why I have my last name, because he ended up adopting me and my brothers. You know, he was taking us under his wing because my biological dad, I witnessed beating my mom. I ended up having to call the cops when I was 5. So yes, I've witnessed a lot of abuse in a lot of different areas of my life. And, you know, that the sexual abuse did carry over because I thought, okay, this is the example that I'm getting. This is what guys want and expect. This is what you give. This is what you do. This is how you act. And when you're treated like just an object, but you're told, oh, I love you. Oh, it's our secret. Oh, this and that. And I'll never do it again. And, you know, all these things, they get instilled in you. And they carry over into every relationship, whether it's a friendship or a family member relationship or an acquaintance relationship. You think things subconsciously and you don't even realize. And that has carried over. And I mean, I ended up putting myself through a lot of abuse unknowing because of that. So
thinking that's life. It became a pattern, you know.
It became a destructive, reckless pattern.
Oh,
sorry, baby. The biggest part of that, though, that I gather from hearing everybody is that we as parents are the example. Whether it's a positive example or a negative example, we are everything that our kid sees. So if your child, first of all, you can't just have a talk with your kid about abuse because they don't fully get it. You know what I mean? When they're young, it has to be a constant thing because they're watching everything we do. And if you make the wrong decisions in your life based off of your past and your parents' past, that stuff is trickling out to your babies. And you're teaching your babies that this type of treatment, this type of drama, this type of abuse is acceptable. And so even if you don't think enough of yourself to stop abuse, you have to look at what example am I setting.
Right.
Exactly.
Because they're looking.
It definitely is it starts from home. I know for myself, you know, I've had a physical abusive relationship, and one of the things that was for me, and even on my lowest, because like I said, I battle with low self-esteem and, you know, old freckles all over my face, red hair, looking like a ginger. South Park was talking about gingers, got everybody thinking like I'm weird, you know, not really, you know, but still. You know,
I think we're all a little weird.
Right,
That's
exactly,
right?
Right.
So
especially
normal.
Lola. You can tell the quiet ones are normally the weirdest, to be honest with you.
The loud ones are normal.
Right, exactly. But it was one of those things, and so for me, I had to kind of find myself. Growing up, I dealt with older guys. I had big breasts. I had a 48 double D. And mind you, I'm only 4'11", people, so they was some bangers, missiles, all right? At the age of 16, I got them chopped down and reduced. People was like, why? 16, that's a big decision. But to me, I felt like that's the first thing that people seen. It drew me to older dudes. It drew me to, you know, men who had a little bit more demand, wanted a certain thing, you know, so you couldn't play that field. In fact, you became submissive to, you know, what was their normal kind of thing. My abusive situation was, you know, I was dealing with somebody who, you know, was getting money in different areas and doing this and doing that. And, you know, I felt like, okay, this is the life. Like, okay, I'm young. This is what it is. And, you know, one day, even as attractive as the guy is, which to me, I was even feeling like, whoa, if I got him, I know I got some potential, right? But, but he, you know, was living a life that was just not acceptable. When I questioned him about, hey, you know, what are you doing? Are you messing with other women? You know, he broke it down to me. Well, you know, I got a woman that sell this. I got a woman that sell that. I got a woman that sell this, but that ain't nothing. Like, you my man. That's how he try to play it to me, like on some pimpology. He don't know I got game. What? Okay, bro, that's not gonna work. So when I say get out, go about your business, it escalated to a point where literally I felt like Tina Turner and Ike, when she was in that booth singing that Nut Bush. Remember when she was singing that Nut Bush? And he dragged her after whooping that to that room and banged her out, right? No, really, this is a serious situation. No, but honestly, it was one of those things where I literally at 4'11" was getting smacked around, dragged around by my hair, and literally dragged me after beating me up to the room. And what he considered making love to me was a form of rape. It was like, okay, I didn't want this. You just beat me up. I want to go home. I mean, I want you to leave. I want you. I'll get away. And it was like, that's what you know came from it. And to me, I felt like, okay, instead of me saying no, I submitted. And eventually that relationship built to something to where, you know, it's trying to kick in doors, and, you know, I had to call, you know, people to come over and take care of things, hide in my car, and just my safety just wasn't in line. Even to this day, when I see that person, and every ex that I've ever dealt with, I'm the type of person, I'm a good-hearted person. I can speak to everybody. I get along with everybody. This is the one that I am like on eggshells around, because it's like, it was such a terrible situation. But again, it goes back to the home. I didn't have that. My mom dealt with drugs, you know, my father MIA. You know, I had to build life on my own and find out who I really was on my own. So unfortunately, abuse, whether it was mental abuse, you know, like I said, verbal abuse, physical abuse, all of that played a life. It played a role in my life, which built me to the character. We not just on set talking because who is these chicks. We talking because truthfully, we got a story behind our belt. Yeah. You understand? And we got a grind ahead of us. So if you watch the grind and support the grind, you're going to really see what's up. But, because I almost got for real there, and I don't even know why. Let's just drink to that, because I get serious. I love these girls, honestly. But look, I want to go back into, like I said, we got to get, I love this conversation, and it's so many different levels to this. Right. I want to kind of get back to everybody to figure out how they handled the situation. So, going back to Shayla May, you had this situation, you was in this abusive situation. At what point did you say, I'm stopping? I can't deal with it. At what point was it where you really seen that this is what I couldn't do? You know what I mean? Or could? How long did it happen? You know?
We were together 2 years. Okay. But what happened is, you become obsessed with a person that you love when you're young. Right. And older too, but I'll say because I was young, I was obsessed. Right. He was everything to me. And I use one of my friends' examples. When something is directly in your face and you can't see anything else around it, it consumes you as a human. Right. Yeah, and the moment that I was able to step back, he did something abusive. I forgot what it was at that time. He did something. You know, I know exactly what it was. We were in the car. I was in the back seat with my daughter, and he turned around like you would do a kid, and he backhanded the shit out of me from the front seat like a kid. Mm-hmm. And I was a kid.
And hit you in the back of your head.
No, he hit me in my face.
Whoa.
He backhanded me in the face because I was in the back seat.
But you gotta smile out of life's tragedies.
So we separated for like a month or so, and that month I got my mojo back. I had to remember who I was. People know me, they love me. I'm this amazing person, but I was nothing without him in my mind, because that's where that relationship had taken me. He tells me, I'm gonna do better, and I was a young mom. I had my oldest daughter, and I didn't want to be a single mom, so I took him back. But it was for the wrong reasons. It was because, I love you. I know this isn't right, but I don't want to be a statistic.
Right.
I took him back. It wasn't even a month later. Full blacked my eye from here all the way over here. He threw me over a lazy boy chair by my neck. I'm holding our daughter. And it's in my face.
Right.
Holding the baby. I'm trying to hit him with one hand and hold her over the chair with the other hand. And I don't say we have a good relationship now. Yeah. It's been
people go through
14
in
years.
Life,
it's no beef. But we went through such a volatile situation. And I tell you what, you think you a bad chick till you see your face black.
Whoa, that selfie had a swoop.
Listen, well, it wasn't selfie days. It wasn't selfie
days.
It wasn't. It was like 02.
Oh, that was pagers.
right. And I had a black eye. Code. I had a black eye for 2 months. That's how hard he hit me in my face. Ooh. If you have to look at yourself in the mirror every day for 2 months,
that's enough.
I mean, it was a thing where I loved that man with everything in me. I used to hide in the closet with the baby when he used to knock on my front door because I was scared he would get in the house. Yeah. I couldn't see him for 30 days.
And I actually, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I want to.
Go ahead, because I keep going.
No, honestly, this is kind of why we do this. Is and you may be able to understand as far as a mom as well. Do you think that a lot of women common nowadays, because they have kids with a man, that extends that? Let me stick it out. Let me hold it through. Let me try a little bit harder versus if we didn't have kids kind of life.
That's always been a thing, though. That goes back to the 20s. You know what I'm saying? Women have always felt like, this is my family. I have to hold my family together and save face. For real. Right, when it gets to our age, you don't want to be, on social networks. You don't want to be somewhere posting that you broke up with somebody and going over. You know what I mean? Because everybody sees you other than you handling stuff within the confines of your own house.
Right. I agree. So is that the same for you as far as... Did you feel like, being a parent or it has that role, it really is a major factor as far as some of the people extending?
It definitely does.
Does it? Is your girl like that? I mean, not to say that she got kids with the guy?
Definitely. And that's the thing. She just feel like, I just want my family to work. And it's like, how can your family dynamic work? How happy can your daughter really be if you're not happy?
Right.
And she's seeing it.
And she's seeing it.
They feel it and see it. Yeah.
And they see it.
I have a cousin like that. All her baby's daddies, her kids can tell you stories of the abuse.
And that's ridiculous.
And it's like, if your kids can tell these stories... My daughter was 1, and I said never again in life.
It's one of those things where you truly have to filter what your kids know. To me, honestly, one of my biggest things is that I feel like kids know too much now.
Way too much.
They know too much. Agree. They know way, way too much. And because of that, what you say around them and talk about and do, it really relays in how they act. So don't be surprised when your child is acting out somewhere or doing this or doing that. Or even following paths of yourself, because it's like, did you really, truly try your best? Naturally, they're going to learn things that you have nothing to do with. But what do you have to do with? Right. You know what I mean? Right. What are you saying around them? And I think abuse is one of the biggest things to where, and I know it's hard to filter it. It really is hard to filter it. But when your kids are in the home, in the room, if you have the ability to separate that argument so that they don't hear it, especially when they get to a certain age, it really makes a difference.
Me and my ex-husband didn't even argue in front of our kids for a long time. He didn't cuss in front of the kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's really such a different dynamic because... I'm ready to argue. What you mean? You don't want to cuss in front of his kids? Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm that chick. So I used to be that chick. That's not me anymore. I promise.
Right. No, I agree. Now let's go over here. We're trying to control our cussing here, but these type of topics really get to our hearts.
I had to.
No, that's okay, people. It's life, unfortunately. But I want to get over here to Sam as far as, and do you feel that same way as far as like? Let me ask you this: growing up and parting away from, your father, your stepfather, and that type of situation, when you were in verbally or mentally abusive relationships, did you find yourself, how did you get out? How did you say, okay, I'm done. This is my timeline. This is it. This is enough for me. What comment, what statement, what action made you say I'm done?
With relationship?
Yeah. Like, so, you know, we've all kind of dealt with maybe someone verbally saying the worst to you.
I mean, my ex, because he was my first relationship, because I had such detrimental, like, oh, I'm just good for sex, you know, there's nothing, whatever, guys are all the same, and here comes this perfect guy to me that's treating me like a princess, that's treating me like I felt like I deserved to be treated, and we literally did not fight our entire relationship. Like, yeah, we had some disagreements, but that's life. You're not going to agree on everything. But after he broke up with me, which was out of the blue to me, that came all the, you're a fat cow, you look like Shamu, you're not hot, you think you're the prettiest thing ever, get over yourself, just tore me down. And so the entire year and a half of our relationship that felt so perfect. And I'm not just saying that, but it did. He opened doors for me, like perfect gentleman. And after he broke up with me, the demons came out and treated me like I'm nothing, and I believed that for a long time.
A lot of women
got me down.
When you love somebody, you really believe their opinion matters. Even when you say it don't, their opinion truly matters. So when they say it, it's so much different than a stranger. It's like a stab and a twist, like the shank that. What was that one twist and go?
And he's the one that taught me that. He taught me so much. I mean, he was such a part of my life. He was my best friend. Like, obviously, he was my boyfriend, but I mean, we were like just life partners, and I felt like we were going to be together forever. We clicked, we meshed so perfectly. And so when I saw this side of him that he was hiding from me, it scared me so much more. But it broke me down, and that's when I turned to girls. I was like, oh,
most of them probably turn for that reason. Honestly.
You were my first relationship because of what I went through. And I trusted you. I gave you everything.
You were vulnerable to them. So it's like, as soon as I became... But in most situations, as soon as a woman becomes vulnerable to a man... Now, this is the same man that chased you down for months, could have been years, always wanted you a part of their life, blah, 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 all good. And they get you, and as soon as they get you in a vulnerable state, you know, that's when it's like, okay, now she wants me. There's no more work, right? There's nothing else to do. So it definitely, I think abuse is, like I said, it's such a common situation. It's something that everybody goes through, unfortunately, even if it's just verbally. I know I can be bad with my mouth and vice versa when it comes to my situation. You know, that's, you know, it's real when you say your situation. With my situation, that thing, that little monk, that little gorilla, that little cherry head, that little taco. Let's go. Did y'all eat? Have y'all tried Taco Bell's breakfast? It is trifling, and I'm not trying to knock Taco. I'm not trying to knock Taco Bell off, but y'all can stop. Okay, that was thick, but I'm saying it really is something that's common. And like I said, one of the things that for me, and this, like I said, it's a very touchy situation. Is that, you know, when you're in a position where your neighbor, you were getting beat up hard, did you want somebody to help you, or was it truly in your heart that you didn't want anybody to be involved? You know. And a lot of times it's like that. Like I always say, it's your sign when, and it's not even always your sign, but I can tell you this. When you start calling your people, you trying to move on. Even if you ain't, you trying to move on, right? When you secretive and you at the house and you don't tell anybody what's going on, it's kind of like you know in your head that you're really not ready kind of thing. And even then, it still can work out separately on that end. But, you know, definitely, you know, on this topic side of it, even when it comes to abuse as far as kids and like I said, your lover and all of that side, how do you feel as far as, you know, our commitment to this change, right? So, like, what can we do as parents, as, you know, aunties, as friends of friends? How can we be a part of maybe a change or developing a relationship to where they understand, hey, maybe I can be a little bit stronger? Because I can tell you now, I wish that I had somebody telling me some good things then, to where I could have left things a little bit earlier, you know? So, were you at that point? Did you ever feel like you wanted help? Did you need help, but, you know, what?
No. I mean, I called the police on him a couple times because I had to. He was going in. I had to. You know, about to stop me out. Right. So, it's a couple times, like, he was on house arrest and stuff because I had to call him there to come get him up off me. You know what I'm saying? But,
she's so funny.
But my little sister witnessed it one time when I was pregnant, and I just told her, please don't tell mommy. Please don't tell mommy. Like, I had to beg my sister. And that was such a low point for me, but I didn't realize how low it was until later on.
Right.
And I didn't want help. When I finally ended it, I knew the worst thing that could happen to him was to lose me.
Right.
And that's still one of his regrets when we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just pulled myself away. But this is the one thing that people always feel like they can change a person. And I know a situation where one of our friends' parents used to fight when they was younger. Daddy whooping on mama. And they got help together. And 30 years married. Never abused again. It happens, but it's not common.
Right.
And it's not you. It's not, oh, maybe if I don't run my mouth, he won't do it. No, you're going to make him mad one day, and he's going to do it.
Either way,
it is what it is.
You can blink 3 times.
Exactly.
You have to want the
you
change,
can give
and then you
a person putting their hands on you one time. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not going to just say, oh, leave. You got kids. You got everything. Dip. Maybe y'all can get counseling. Maybe there's something going on that can be fixed. But if that person is a constant abuser in any way, physical, mental, sexual, whatever the case is, you got to go.
Right.
You got to go.
It definitely is a sensitive line as far. Now, let me ask you, Lola, as far as like with your people or who you know that, have this situation, have you ever felt like have you told them, hey, you better than this or this and that, or is this like you kind of play your position because you already know? Because a lot of times girls are so sensitive about their relationship. They really don't want to hear it, right.
And because that situation, I don't understand it.
Right.
And because I had good parents, to be honest, I had my dad. That's good. He had a lot of things, but he was amazing on things like that.
Right.
As far as how a man should treat you. So I don't understand it.
Right.
I don't. So when I talk to her, maybe I'm too harsh with it, like, because I don't get it. Right. To me, it's like, what are you doing? This
Sadly,
doesn't make
they
any
need
sense.
harsh though. I mean, it may not. Yeah. They want you vulnerable, but truthfully, you don't need your yes friend all the time. Sometimes I need my friend to be like, listen, you better than that. I'm not saying leave your man, but I'm saying work on yourself. That's the best term you can use to somebody getting beat. Work on yourself, boom, basically.
The sad thing with that situation is you can't make anybody leave a situation that they don't want to leave. And now I'm to the point I see she doesn't want to leave.
Right, in heart and soul. Right.
And at that point, as a person, if you try to help someone and they ain't really trying to, that's when you just got to take a step back and you have to be out of it. As much as it hurts me as a friend to see another friend go through that, there's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
That's where she going to be. That's who she going to be with. And all I can do is fall back. And to be honest, people who do go through that, like another person I know, they were just saying, like, they realized things were real when people stopped messing with them. They stopped calling, stopped coming around, because nobody wants to deal with that. Especially, my friends are my heart. Right. And I can't even deal. It's too much for me. Like, it's too much of a strain on my life.
Right. So and it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just too much.
One of my issues, I have a friend she's been getting abused by this dude for years, and he's great to us. Like, to her friends and stuff. He is like
they're normally the best around everyone else.
He's a great guy, right? But he beats the crap out of her. She's like a sister to me. And this is the thing: I had to stop being around because my ex-husband don't take disrespect, and he's known for knocking people out. So I told her, I said, I can't do this with you. I said, because the minute he pops at you in front of me, I'm gonna provoke him to say something to me, and I'm gonna have my husband break his jaw.
Right.
Seriously, it's just one of those things. Can't. I have to stay away from you because I'm gonna involve my family. When it shouldn't get to that point.
And it don't even got nothing to do with you.
Right.
Exactly.
It just be
but
one of those
I'll
things.
do it, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's really a touchy situation. It truly is. It's one of those things where you have to say, honestly, I'm in this place. I want to be a better person. I don't want to be around the drama. Sometimes you have to really, truly evaluate your circle and really see, if this is something that, that you really, and I'm not saying run away from your circle. I'm not saying that, ditch them when they down. I'm saying that if they're really not truly in the mind frame to be different and change, that could truly drag you down. I could be honest with you.
You become like the 5 people you spend the most time
with. And even
if
it's not, abuse, and say maybe you got a cheating situation. The worst thing is to hear a repetitive story about cheating, because you have to start saying, well, are you going to do something about it, or is it just going to be a storyline for you?
You're going to cry and go home.
Right.
And I was just going through that with one of my friends. It's like, okay, I'm hearing the same things.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I love you so much. What are you going to do about it?
Yep. What's
I will help you. If not, I really kind of don't want to hear about it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it gets very draining. And honestly, I can be honest, when my friends get to a point where they're repetitive about some certain situations, it can get draining because again, me being the person I am, I want to tell you this, but I'm not a negative Nancy. I'm not one of the ones that's like, girl, I couldn't do it. I'm one of the ones that's like, well, just work on yourself. Know I'm very motivating. Know who you are. You're worth more than this. Try to feed that into you that maybe you're not getting at that time.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, that's the best thing that we can do. But when it comes down to somebody being around you, getting abused, honestly, my personal opinion on it is that try to be a support factor. The worst thing is somebody who, like I said, I don't do that. I couldn't mess with this. Because them be the same ones getting whooped at home themselves and don't tell you about it. So, it's one of those. And this subject is so touchy. We definitely will have to continue into this on next week. Also, stay tuned on this one because we also will be talking about bullying as well. It's a very common situation. It's very sensitive. It maximizes to so many different things, from homicide to suicide, from just that term bullying. So, I definitely think it's going to be a good one to watch on. You might learn something about your kids or what your kids are going through and vice versa. So, make sure y'all tune in to us again. This is Shayla May, Dottie Red, Lola B, Sam the Riff. This is W.R.C. when Real Connect. We on every Tuesday. Our personal opinions, don't get it twisted. Follow our growth. Oh, by the way, trust, we got a new set coming, a new format coming. Make sure y'all tune in. We will again be in the city with the cameras, so when you see us, know what's up. Alright, when we out. WRC, let's go.
I'm from the AK, born to be a weapon for that money. Yeah, I'm wrecking like a missile, bitch. I'm about to blow. Didn't think that I could blow. Didn't know that I could blow. Bet you see me though, bitch. Well now you know. See, I come from the bottom all the way to the top. That good me keep the money, that hood me keep the Glock. For the haters I pop, but I'd rather be pretty. Get cash and back my eyelashes. You get 2 sides, 1 bitch at shot. Other ones hot fly, fuck all night. No surprise, bloodstream, Gemini sign. Double that, Ronald call me Double Mac. Pull up to my window, let's go. Them streets has made me real now. Wanted to see a real bitch. Was she here now? Done blew a lot of dough, blew a lot of smoke, blew a couple Joes. No, I do not hope for real. I bust a nut and then I go. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Ain't gotta steal now. Ain't gotta kill now. We poppin' bottles for the night. We do the meals now. Let's go, let's go. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Ain't gotta steal now. Ain't gotta kill now. We poppin' bottles for the night. We do the meals now. See, I come from an era where they party to death, hitting coke off the mirrors until they had nothing left. Now that's blow, right, bitch? I put on for my city, put on for my foes, I put on for the kitty in the dome. Bitch, you wanna see it? Show live on that channel 1. Struggle made me hustle, so I hustle like I'm struggling. Live like a peasant, now presence of a real sheep, speaking to a real beat. See that money, gotta tell. We hit the mall in the streets, either way I'm copping. Keep them niggas cocked back, for them snitches copping. If you wanna talk that really, you speaking about them billies. Ain't no time for all that silly shit, I played it too long. I touched down, you address a real bitch in your presence. Know your level, I'm a real bitch, O-H struggle. I'm a hood bitch, but I'm a good bitch. Even Brown kept the hood bitch, never Hollywood did. Let's go. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Ain't gotta steal now. Ain't gotta kill now. We poppin' bottles for the night. We do the meals now. Let's go, let's go. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Ain't gotta steal now. Ain't gotta kill now. We poppin' bottles for the night. We do the meals now. Oh, what you know? Oh, what you know about that? Oh, what you know? Oh, what you know about that? You wanna get a real bitch, nigga, cop that. Stop the talking, the hands up in your pocket. Up in the strip club, selling wine nightly. The spot is how we running out with bags of AK. Keep a big nigga bearded, ready for mayday. But we don't want beef, it's just a payday. We getting money and popping bottles for a living, nigga. Biggest villain. When the street bitch driven, I ain't down for killing. Before that money shit, I'm willing, cause I'm trying to count a million and you already know. So let's go. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Ain't gotta steal now. Ain't gotta kill now. We poppin' bottles for the night. We do the meals now. Let's go, let's go. It's real now. Come from the bottom to the top of the hill now. Ain't gotta steal now. Ain't gotta kill now. We poppin' bottles for the night. We do the meals now. Let's go.